to Google Guardian's Online Learning Academy. Tonight we have Heather White. She is a straight up celebrity. She is amazing. You are. And I have worked personally with Heather. She is so good. She's going to give you the facts and everything you need to know about Gmail, about calendar, all the things you didn't know you needed to know.
Yeah, just very simple. Look, it's going to be very simple because honestly, we don't need to get bogged down in the Gmail or the calendar. We need to use it to kind of organize our lives, but we don't need to be worrying about, all the other things that you could be doing with some of the things like emailing friends. Nope. So we're going to talk how to use it for school.
We're going to keep it simple.
We are.
All right, Heather, go ahead and get your presentation pulled up right now.
All right. Boop, boop. There we go.
Yes, indeed. Here we go.
All right, guys. Okay, so like she said, my name is Heather White. I do work in Livingston Parish Public Schools like she does. I am an instructional technology facilitator, and I'm also a Google certified trainer and an ISTE certified educator. So what we're going to do is we are going to kind of break down what Gmail and Google Calendar can be used or how it really needs to be used in an education setting. Okay, so just to kind of explain what Gmail is. Okay, so it's your email service that is connected through your child's Google Workspace for Education account. Now, keep in mind, schools, when they manage your education account, can turn that email off. So if you try to access email and you can't find it, that means that your school's domain has turned off that email. They don't have access to it. So basically what I'm about to tell you doesn't apply, but lots of schools do still have it turned on. Now, there are two levels that they can have it turned on for. In my district, we have it turned on only to email other people within our school district. So our mine would be like heather.white@livingstonschools.net. I can only send and receive emails from other @livingstonschools.net addresses. I can't just send it to anyone that I want to. I can't sign up for things with it because I will never get like a validation email back. Some districts have it open. All right. So you can actually use it to email outside of your domain, meaning you could send it to, let's say a kid wanted to send an email to their parent and it was just a regular Gmail account. Okay. So keep in mind, just because you have a Gmail account doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to converse with a school Gmail account. So that's something to keep in mind and to kind of make sure you know when it comes to using this service. Now, there are 3 places that students can find their Gmail accounts, okay? So they can go to any new tab. And when I say tab, I'm talking about these little things up here, okay? These are all tabs. So if I wanted to click on that plus, I can open a new tab and I can get to my email that way. I can go through what is known as the waffle. And I can also send emails directly to people straight through Google Classroom. And so this is what those 3 things look like. And I'm actually going to go through it and show you in real time as well. Okay, so if you open a new tab, in the upper right-hand corner, you will see, your circle with usually your initial. And this is your waffle right here. So if you click on your waffle, Gmail, now your Gmail may not be the second thing that you see. These little applications are actually movable, so you might have to search through them. So don't panic if you don't see it right there. You can also email directly through your Google Classroom. Okay, so this is one that I'm in. Here is the teacher. And if you see the little envelope right there, if you click on it, it will actually open up your email and address it directly to that person. So that's kind of a nice way to do it. You don't have to worry about misspelling anything and stuff of that nature. So just to kind of show you, if I go through a new tab right here, and again, this is something that I've set up, so yours may not look this way, but over here in the right-hand corner, here is where Gmail is. So if I were to click on that, it would open up my Gmail. Again, if I want to go through my Google Apps, I can click there, Gmail's here. Like I said before, keep in mind that these can be moved around. So if you want to organize those in a specific way, you can do so by just moving it and putting it like that. So let's say I want my calendar up here close to my Gmail, my Drive, and my Classroom. Personal preferences there. I tend to put the things that I don't use very much down here at the bottom. So A lot of these, again, on a school account, you're not going to see. This is not a school account. So you're seeing a lot of things like shopping, hangouts. A lot of those will be turned off if it is done by a school domain. All right, before we hop in and take a look at the email, this is sort of what your Gmail inbox is going to look like. All right, so you have all of these different buttons here and a main menu panel, labels, and things of that nature. I'm not going to read it to you, but I do want to point out that if you click on this is from a great blog called EdTech Cafe. And if you click on it, it will actually go through. There's a how to use Gmail for students. Okay, so if you forget, if you want to use a little bit more, kind of look into it some more. They also have a little video here. But this right here is a good resource for you to come back to at a later date. Sorry about that. My children decided to leave, so my dogs are barking. Okay. Well, they couldn't leave before I started, like I told them to. So now you hear a bloodhound, a lab, and an Aussie. So
I love the mournful howl that he just did.
You heard that?
I did.
It was the saddest thing you've ever heard in your life. I mean, it's just like,
cute.
Oh, you're leaving me. Okay, enough. Thank you. We heard you. Okay. Just a few simple bits and pointers when sending an email. Okay, you might not think that this is something that needs to be taught. It is. Funnily enough, kids don't know how to write an email. Just like if you ask them to sit down and write a letter to someone, they don't really know how to do that either. I think that this is something that has just really gone away. As a kid, I would write letters to people because that was really our only way of communicating with our friends that may not live in town. Long distance was expensive. You didn't have, I'm aging myself right here. You had to wait until like after 8 to get the cheap long distance. And a lot of us, that was our bedtime. So we couldn't necessarily call people or whatever. So we would write letters. We knew how to do that. Kids don't. Kids don't write letters. They see each other every day. They pick up a phone and they can FaceTime, they text, and it's great that they're connected that way. But those things don't translate to communication in an email, which is a skill that is not going away. And it is something that they're going to need to know how to do. So it's best to go ahead and learn right now. So I'm not going to click through all of these and read them to you. I'm going to show you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the inbox, kind of take a look around, and then we're going to actually compose an email real quick. So things to keep in mind: write a clear subject line. Address your teacher formally. Okay, so it's Mrs. White. If you have a teacher that at school they call them like Miss Heather, then that's fine. You call them how they want to be addressed within the school. Okay. Don't say, hey, what's up, or that kind of stuff. Okay, that's very informal. So you need to make sure that you are applying that formality and that respect that you have, within a classroom through email. Keep in mind, teachers are not your children's peers, okay? Even when I email teachers, even though they are my peers because I work with them, I still address them in a very formal manner because it is me as a parent addressing them as the teacher of my child, and I want to show respect to that. So that is a good thing to keep in mind as well, parents. Always include some form of body text that's going to describe what is in the email. Don't just put a subject line or throw in an attachment. Kind of explain what's going on. It doesn't necessarily have to be a 3-paragraph essay. It can be a few sentences, all right, but it does need to explain what the purpose of the email is. Be straightforward, kind of get to the point. Teachers have a very limited amount of time. Your elementary teachers, if they're a self-contained classroom, which means they teach all the subjects, they may have 25 kids, depending on the age, but as you move into upper grades, middle school, high school, you have teachers who could teach 6 hours a day, 6 different blocks. And in those blocks, they could have 30 kids. That's 180 students that they are in charge of. So keep in mind, if 180 students sent an email email every day. That's a lot of emails to try to go to. And they don't have time during the day while they're teaching to actually check an email. So be straightforward, keep it simple, be respectful, explain what you're doing, use proper grammar and spelling. This means actually using periods, sentences and those sorts of things. It needs to read well. Okay. It does not need to read like it is a text. You don't want to, throw in text speak like BRB, be right back, or those sorts of things. So make sure that you are definitely, using that proper grammar and spelling. It's a good thing to practice, but it also, again, shows respect. Label properly any attached assignments. So, it may not need to be this complex. So H White period 4, math 816. But you don't want to just send something that is worksheet. Okay, so those sorts of things are common names and can get lost. Put your name, maybe put what it's for. The date can be helpful, but just keep in mind if you're sending an attachment that it needs to be specific to you so that the teacher is not getting 180 things that say math worksheet. Okay, so in the email with sincerely, thank you, those sorts of words, not stuff like thanks, cheers, see you later, that kind of stuff. Just end it like you would a normal letter. Down here is where I got all of this information right here. So you can click on it. It does have more details if you want to go and look in more details and have some examples and things of that nature. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into an email. All right, so here's my Google Classroom. If I wanted to go ahead and open a new tab to get to my email, I could do that. Again, I would click on Gmail. So when your student opens it, this is basically what they're going to see. This is a school account. Okay, so it's kind of streamlined. These things over here are add-ons. Okay, so they may not be able to add their own. I know we have it locked down so that only add-ons that are approved from our technology department are pushed through. But these are great ones to have. Notice you can get to your calendar right here. This one is Google Keep. It's a great way to keep notes, and it's like virtual sticky notes. It's pretty cool. This is a task list. So if your students are really task oriented, they like to check things off, you can do that, and you can put what you need to, and it puts a little, I need to do my homework or whatever, and you can check it off when you're done. All right, so up here is where your settings are. This gets real into how you're going to see your Gmail. You may or may not have access to changing your settings, okay? It depends on what your school district allows, okay? So default is the way that I have it set, comfortable, and then compact. And again, you can decide how you want to view this as far as your inbox, what's going to show up first by date, important things unread, and then how you're going to read it. Okay. So just simple settings. Over here, you have your compose button, which is what you would do to start a new mail. I have my inbox. So you will see right here that Google Classroom has sent me 3 alerts. So it's telling me that my teacher has posted a new assignment. If I click on that, it will say, okay, this person has posted this assignment. It's due August 24th. And notice it gives me an option to open. This is great because what I can do is click open and go directly to the assignment. I don't have to go and dig around for it. Okay. So a lot of times once the school year gets going, you've got tons and tons of things in your classroom. Okay. So I'm going to go here to the classwork. Notice it's not very many right now, okay? But again, as that school year goes, this is going to become more and more cluttered. So it's really nice that I can come here and I can click directly on what I need to do and go to that specific assignment without having to jump around and look forward and maybe accidentally click on the wrong thing. Okay, so to go back to my inbox, I can either click my back arrow or I can just click on inbox. Notice as soon as I've read it, it is no longer bolded. So that is a way for me to tell which emails I've read and which ones I've not. All right, so if let's say I didn't get to this one just yet and I wanted to make sure that I start it so I didn't forget about it, I can go ahead and click star. And what that does is it will actually put it into this filter for me so that I know that, hey, this was an important email. I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget about it. So I start it. Now, let's say I went ahead and did that assignment and I didn't need it start anymore. All I have to do is click off of it. Okay. And so it will no longer be starred. Snoozed is when you have, told an email, okay, I don't want you to alert me anymore. Sent will show you any emails that you have sent. Okay, drafts is when you have started an email, but it has not been sent yet. Okay, I don't have any drafts just yet. And if I click on this more down here, it will expand into some different tags and filters and things. So you can go and mark things as important. And I'll show you how to do that. Chats, you can schedule to send emails. I don't know if your student would really need to do that, but it is there. All mail, if I click on this filter, what this means, and it's just going to be these three, means that it's going to show any email that I've received, any email that I've sent, any email that is considered spam. It's going to show me basically everything that is in my email inbox. Okay. And so spam, no spam, that's awesome. So sometimes you do need to check in there. Google will flag some things maybe that aren't spam, and you can mark it saying, hey, this isn't spam. You can let it go. After 30 days, if you haven't done anything with it, it will delete out. And then here's your trash can. So notice you can see I have that. And what will happen is after things are deleted, it will stay in there for about 30 days and then it will go away. Okay, so you do have a main menu option here where if you don't want to see all of the things like that and you want to collapse this, you can click on that hamburger menu. And if you prefer to have it, open like that, you can do that. Okay, so let's take a look at how to compose an email. So all I have to do is click on compose, and it does open in this smaller box right here. If I don't want to work in a smaller box, all I have to do is click this arrow and it will make it a little bit bigger for me. Okay, so right here, let's say I want to send an email to my teacher, and my teacher is heather.white. And notice as I start typing, it's going to populate emails that are in my domain. And then it'll also start to populate ones that are used frequently, so common ones. So let's say I want to send it to that person right there. Again, I want to put a subject. And let's say I'm going to be absent tomorrow. So absence on Friday, August 20th. Oops, not 29th. 20th. Okay, so I just want to let her know, hey, I'm not going to be at school. So, dear Mrs. White, I wanted to let you know that I will be out tomorrow, Friday. And then I'm going to also put the date, because if she doesn't see it, because it is after work hours, they may not see it. Not 19, 8, 20. That way they can know. And you can say, I will check the Google Classroom for any missed work and try to and get that made up. And then you might want to say, if you have anything else that I need to do that's not listed in the classroom, please let me know. Okay, so I think that's good. I have been respectful. I have been specific. I don't have anything to attach, but I'm going to say, sincerely, and then I'm going to actually use my first and my last name. Keep in mind that sometimes we forget that we share names with people. So we want to make sure that we let them know. And maybe I want to say that I'm in third period. Okay. Most of the time your teacher's going to know what class you're in, but just to be nice. Down here, you have some options if you needed to, change your alignment, do a numbered list, a bulleted list, so on and so forth. If you needed to bold, italicize, underline those things, you can make your text bigger. If you need to, I suggest, again, leaving it at normal. These are your fonts that you can choose. You do not want to go with a crazy font. So notice that you don't have a whole lot of options. And there's a reason behind that, because you need to be able to read those things. Now, let's say I did need to attach something. Down here at the bottom is where I'm going to do that. So if I click here, okay, what that's going to do is it's going to pull up places on my computer that I can go and I can choose my file from. Okay, so I would click on that file, I would click open, and then it would attach it for me. This right here is if I want to insert a link. Okay, so let's say I needed to share a website with them, and they said, I want you to send me an email, the website that you found for amoebas, whatever. So that's what you would do right there. This is your emojis. Try to stay away from those. They're not, necessarily needed in an email to a teacher. That's usually more, friendly type things. This right here connects to your Google Drive. Okay. So right here, a lot of times this is where your students are going to find their work, because they're going to be going from what's in their Google Classroom, what's in, Google Sheets, drawings, docs, those sorts of things. So my drive, I only have one folder, Classroom. And so then I would find what I needed. But since I'm doing it in the classroom, I wouldn't need to attach it. I would just submit it. But just know that that is an option. This right here, confidential mode on and off. You don't need to worry about that. And then this is an insert signature. If you were to have a signature created, again, not necessarily something that you need to worry about. Notice you do have a drop down here. This is how you would schedule an email to send, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to directly send it. So notice it's sent. If I want to make sure, I can go click here and it shows me that that email was indeed sent. Okay. Let's go into the Google Classroom real quickly. And I just want to show you that when you go to the people, I have classmates here and I have teachers. You can directly email a classmate by clicking on that. So let's say you're working in a collaborative project, group work, and you need to email your person to discuss things. So again, notice it pulled right here for me, compose email. It went ahead and it said who it was going to. I didn't have to worry about doing that. And then what I would do is that I would just continue to fill this out the way that I need to. I would go ahead, even though it's a classmate, still be, consistent with being specific in your subject and your body and those sorts of things. You don't necessarily need to address your classmates as Ms. Robinson. You could say, Dear Amanda, or even, you could say, Hey, Amanda, if it is your classmate, because it is going to be a little less formal that way. But you still want to make sure that you are, staying within the bounds of what you were expected to as far as digital citizenship is considered. A lot of people forget that these email accounts are not owned by them, that they are owned by the school domain that is that your student goes to. So anything and everything is actually property of the school and can be read at any time. So, students just need to keep that in mind. Anything they do can be seen. So don't forget about that digital citizenship component. All right, Nikki, do we have any questions on email yet, or anything I didn't cover that you think would be important? Hello? Guess not. Okay. All right, so let's talk calendar. Google Calendar is a good way to stay organized, up to date with your assignments from all of your classes.
Heather, I'm sorry. I was on mute, so I was just talking away. But
for a minute there, I was like, oh gosh, did I close out the StreamYard?
Nope, it's my fault. Sorry, guys. So one of the comments was writing a correct subject saves so much teachers' time. So we love that you had putting in the subject the correct information. And then also that everything about that email you posted was perfect. As a teacher, I loved it because it was respectful. It gave me the information. Just as a teacher, that makes me want to take that student so much more seriously than one that says, hey, what did I miss?
Yeah. My mom said I need to email you do what I missed.
Exactly.
I mean,
use that email as a model. If you're a parent and you're trying to teach your child how to send emails, that is the perfect email to use as a model.
Absolutely. Short, sweet, to the point, respectful. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, and it's very easy. For a teacher, we go, okay, so this student really does care, and it makes us want to go that extra mile for them as well. So I completely agree with that.
Does. Yep. And that was it. Everything else is agreeing with all the things that you've said. So keep on trucking.
Awesome. Okay. So Google Calendar, again, short, sweet, to the point. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how, if your teacher, keep in mind, your teacher has to put a due date on your assignments in your classroom. If they don't put a due date on the assignments in classroom, then it's not going to show up in your calendar. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so there's, again, 3 ways to find your calendar: through the waffle, from the Google Classroom, and you can just type in calendar.google.com in your search bar. Okay, so you can find them in those ways. Okay, I'm not done yet. Don't say thank you just yet. All right, let's go back here. Come on. Okay. So here is my classroom, and I'm looking at all of my classwork, and I want to go to my Google Calendar. So this is going to take me, if I click on that, pardon me, directly to my calendar. Now, what it does is it defaults to looking at a weekly view. Okay, so this week it's showing me that I am on today. Right, this little red line is showing me exactly where I am as far as my calendar goes. So it is 6:25 in the afternoon, evening, and notice here's the 6, here's the 7. I have an assignment that is due tomorrow. Now, if it doesn't have a specific time, it hovers up here at the top. Okay, so don't think that the teacher is asking your student to turn in something at like 4 a.m. That's not what that is. What that is it's saying, hey, this assignment is due today at no specific time. Okay, if I click on that, it expands to give me all of the details for that assignment. Notice it also gives me an option to go ahead and send an email about it as well. Kind of nice. All right, so it tells me what the assignment was, when it is due, and then it gives me the breakdown of what was said in that assignment. All right, now here's the beauty of this as well. If I click on that link right there, it takes me directly to my classroom and directly to that assignment. Okay, so again, I'm not hunting around for anything. I can go, okay, this is due this day. Let me go see if I've done it. Even if you've done it, it's still going to take you directly there. And instead of seeing assigned, you'll see turned in, or you'll see completed. If the teacher's graded it, you'll be able to see your grade there. So it does take you directly there. Again, nice little feature, and lets you see, all of those details. Now, let's say that you are not a week view type person. All right. And you want to look at the day, or you want to look at the month. Okay. So if you click on this right here, then you will see all of your options for how you can view your calendar. So let's say I want to click on month to sort of give me an idea of what is coming up. All right. So if you notice, I've got an assignment due here, an assignment due here, and one due here, and one due here. Now, again, this one looks like this one. This was no specific time. This one has a specific time. So it is due at 2 p.m. Therefore, it has to be done by 1:59. If I click on it, tells me the same exact stuff. I can click there, goes directly to my classroom assignment where I can go and work on that. Now, looking over here along the left, on the right here, again, you have your little taskbar, your keep, and your tasks if you wish to use those. Down here on the left, you can navigate anywhere you need to on your calendar by clicking around. If I were in my weekly view and I clicked here, it would actually move me forward to that week. So that's one way to take a look at it. I can go through months if I need to. All right, now down here, and this is going to be important because if you have had a student, one second, Henry, stop. Sorry, he's a puppy.
I love it. I love it.
He's a puppy. I can't.
This is how you know it's real life.
I know it's real life. He wants to play so badly. He's not even 1 yet, and my lab is almost 11, and she doesn't want anything to do with it. So he's whining at her.
Feeling.
Anyway. Okay. Back to where I was. So under my calendars, you might see a bunch of different calendars that you've created. You can get rid of those. And then down here, notice that this is my one for my Google Guardian. So this is the class that I'm in. If your student goes and unclicks that, notice everything disappears. That means that they are not going to be seeing those assignments because they've turned off viewing of that calendar. I'm telling you this so that if you go look at the calendar and you're going, they're saying, see, I don't have anything done. There's nothing on my calendar. Make sure that that's checked. Okay. They can be sneaky little boogers sometime. All right.
Hey,
so
Heather.
Yeah.
Sorry. We have a question in the chat. Why are some assignments in colored filled boxes and some in blue text?
Okay. So like this one versus this one, let me go back to the month view. So again, this was on month view because if you notice on week view, they all kind of look the same. Okay. Mm-hmm. But in month view, this is an assignment that has a specific due day, but not a time during that day. Okay. So this assignment has to be done at some point on August 20th. These assignments have specific times in the day that they are due. This one's due at 2 p.m. So it's telling you 1 minute before it needs to be turned in.
Smart.
This one's due at 3 p.m. So it has to be done. This one's due at 2:15 p.m. So if we go, you notice like it shows you right here that is what it is. Okay. So that's why it kind of looks a little different. It depends on how your teacher is going to put that into the classroom. So when I click on it, it's showing me right here, hey, this is due August 25th at 2:15 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. This one right here, which one was it? The planet one? No, that one's 3 o'clock. See how it shows right here? This one just says due August 27th. So on my calendar, it's going to show me, let me find my calendar one.
This was a good question because I don't think I've ever noticed that before.
On August 27th right here, it's in the blue box because it's going to show you if you're in the weekly view. Those are the ones that hover up at the top because they don't have a specific time. Okay. Does that make sense? I hope I answered that.
It does. She said, thank you. I had no idea. And I don't think I did either. So that was a great question.
Yeah. I taught Nikki something. Okay. So again, underneath other calendars or calendars that somebody has shared with your child, this is going to have all of your classroom calendars. You might need to go and delete out some old classroom calendars if they have not disappeared. I think if it's archived, it will disappear, but if not, here's how you get rid of it. All right. So these 3 little dots right here are sort of like your more menu. And so this right here will actually give you an option. If you have a bunch of blue and you don't want every class in blue, notice you can change the color that it shows up. So let's say I want this class to be red or this beautiful pink color. That's how you can do that. So that gives you a little freedom here. They did actually come in and do custom color where you can go in and add like a hex code if you want to get really geeky with it. But you know, most people don't need to do that. That's just a thing like me, I guess. Okay. So again, if you have calendars that are no longer in use, if you click on those 3 dots and you click hide from list, poof, it goes away. All right. Now, how do I get it back? I did not mean to do that. Where did my calendar go? Never fear. This little icon right here is your settings menu. Okay. If you click on settings, it gives you a whole bunch of stuff that you really don't need to mess with. But if you click here where it says add calendar, and let's scroll down a little bit. Where is it? Here it is. Like, where's my little scroll bar? Come on, come on, come on. Work with me. Okay. And come down here, settings for my calendars. Notice this one right here has this little eye with the slash through it. That means that that calendar has been hidden. All right. To bring it back, all you do is just click that off. Okay. And so then it's back.
Okay, Heather, we've got another question.
Yes.
If the class is archived, can students still see those assignments in the calendar?
I don't know. And I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't know. Can you see that from my child?
Yes. But Rashma, I don't think so. I know that we've archived stuff before, and I'm pretty sure it takes it out of everything.
Yeah.
But to be safe, if you're archiving classes, just remove all of your students and then archive.
Right. So if you remove your students, it should take away the access to that calendar and they won't see it anymore. And then that way you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so let me go back to my calendar. Notice here it is again. All right. So again, if you've got this up here and you don't need your students seeing all of these things, let's say they're younger and you want to go in and kind of clean up the calendar for them. I don't have anybody's birthdays on this. This is just a calendar that is sort of an automatic thing that Google does. So I'm going to hide that from lists. I just don't need that. This reminders is something, you know, that again, I'm not having that set up. So well, this one's not going to let me get rid of that one, I guess. But you can click on or off to have them in your calendar if it won't let you get rid of it right there. But this is how you know, if it's gone, take it off there. If your student comes here and says hide from list to get that calendar back, and sometimes they do it on accident, you know, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. You can just say, don't worry. Mom is magical. Dad is magical. Whoever is magical. And come here, click on that. And it will pop back up in their calendar. Okay. So that is pretty much it as far as calendar goes. You know, you're really just going to kind of use it to be able to access your your assignments. Now, if you have a student who is, a teenager or even a middle schooler and really needs some help on becoming more organized, they can come in here and create their own events. All they have to do is click on a box and then they can start typing in what it is. So let's say they have practices every day of the week, ballet or whatever. I have kids who are super duper active and they have stuff every single day. And it's hard for them sometimes to keep up with what's what. So by going in and putting in their schedules, they can see just how much time they have for, okay, this assignment's due, but I've got something this day, and this day. I need to make sure that I'm doing a little bit every night because maybe this is some big cumulative type thing. So they can use this to, help themselves out as far as putting in, events that they have going on. Maybe they have an orthodontist appointment and they drive themselves. Okay, put that in there so that they can remember. And the great thing about this is that every single one of the Google apps has a mobile app. So you can put these on your mobile device for free and they will sync up as long as you log in with the same account. So even if they're not in front of their computer, they can still see what's going on their phone and get alerts that, hey, this is due, or hey, this is coming up, or you're supposed to be here at this time. So just something to keep in mind. The younger ones, maybe not so much, but as they get older, they do need to start to take on that responsibility. You can't be with them forever. And so that is just one way to kind of teach them some life skills as far as, scheduling and knowing what is going on when it's going on. All righty. Well, that is it for Gmail and calendar. I hope it was beneficial for you. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out, heather.white@lpsb.org. So
Heather, that was awesome. I love the thing that you said, like, as parents, I have 2 young boys too. I don't want to let them go, but at the same time, I need them to be a functional adult.
Yes.
So that is why we have to teach them how to do these things. They need to learn how to send emails at an early age because, like she said, that's not going to go away. Those are things that you can start off doing early. They can practice, you can check it, and then they can send it. Doing things in the calendar, that's something for a little bit older. These are little things we can do to help prepare our kids for real life because our job is to send them into the world and be able to function. So
Absolutely.
The first step is showing up to these videos, and you are here, and we are so grateful. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to check out our website. It is located below at bit.ly/GGuardians. There's all kinds of videos and resources there for parents and guardians alike. So thank you again for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks, y'all.